me. Here.
International sculptor Andrew Rogers is building a chain of massive stone sculptures around the world. Using ancient symbols and elements of the earth, Rhythms of Life is an exercise in dreaming boldly. Rhythms of Life is about sculptured land art of colossal scale, involving over 5,000 people on 6 continents. His vision? To create one of the largest contemporary land art projects on Earth that will link cultures and memories around the globe. So far, Andrew has worked in Israel, Chile, Bolivia, Sri Lanka, Iceland, India and Australia. Now the natural theatre for these creations moves to Nepal, the birthplace of Buddha. Here in the dramatic setting of the Kathmandu Valley, next to some of the highest mountains of Earth, Andrew Rogers has planned to build the first of his 3 giant stone sculptures, or geoglyphs. A group of local officials are keen to be a part of a project that will connect their small corner of the world with the greater human tribe. Andrew has found a site for his first sculpture on the floor of the Seti Gorge, home to the Dungi Sangu River.
All right, so let's go down there and let's get a tape measure and have a look.
As always, choosing the perfect site is of primary importance. It has to be a powerful spot that will work with the land and light to create a sublime place for contemplation. But it's also got to be a place that can withstand the raging winter rivers of this land.
The reason I like this site, because you've got breathing room. It's much wider than 40 metres. I think it's 60. We want big rocks. They won't be able to carry more than 1 each. How many hours do they normally work in a day?
This is 8 hours.
8 hours. Well, that's what we don't want them to work any more than they traditionally work. Okay. You don't have to marry me, but we have to talk. And we'll build a wall that they can walk across. Even if we do something special, we're going to clean up this whole valley. Before I leave, it's going to be spotless. That's my contribution to the valley.
Okay.
The villagers pitch in to clean the valley. Then the local and international team starts working to produce bridges, real and metaphorical. Blessings are offered to the earth before building begins on the symbol he's collaboratively chosen for this site, the Srivatsa, the Buddhist endless knot. The intertwined lines have no beginning and no end, symbolizing the eternal wisdom and compassion of Buddha. As a native of Nepal, it seems fitting to build this sculpture here in Buddha's memory. The trucks don't fit down the steep pathway. Creating geoglyphs always has its logistical problems. Here, the challenge is to safely unload enormous rocks onto the valley floor.
Wherever possible, we use the local methods and materials. Here, we have a lot of women who prefer to carry the rocks like Sherpas, with the weight of the loaded baskets held by a thick band around their forehead.
Thousands of rocks will be used to build the structure of the endless knot, and the team needs to work out how many rocks they'll need each day and how many hours it will take. Local materials are always used. In this case, the team is using mud to bind the rocks together. Israeli architect Tamar has worked with Andrew Rogers since 1999 and is experienced at communicating the idea and methods of this large-scale project to the local team.
people are great. There's good energy on the site. The pace of work is very satisfactory. The work is good, very neat, and they're building it in the traditional way.
This is a message through the form of art. I'm a facilitator, I'm a conduit. I have the privilege of being able to put this all together and have an idea, being able to recreate that idea in a three-dimensional form.
Andrew is invited by the locals to hike to a remote village called Lubra to see an ancient temple.
For me, returning to Nepal is an opportunity to experience the spirituality of this country. Nepal has a wonderful mix of Buddhism and Hinduism.
The village has no electricity, roads or running water and can only be accessed by walking.
This timber on the roofs is really beautiful. It's on every house. It's put there in memory of ancestors, and some of it is over 200 years old. Look at this ancient carved wooden column, and upon it is one of the 8 sacred symbols, the endless knot. And this is what we're going to create on the ground in stone.
It has a very deep meaning, and I think it's great. And I think it's also going to make people know about this symbol since it's such a big project. It's been phenomenal. I am so glad that I've become a part of this whole thing. Women are giving birth to their sons. It's been an amazing experience, and I'm really glad to be a part of this.
We've had 4 pregnant women on this site. They've been giving water to the workers. 2 of them have just had healthy baby boys. We've got 1 here who's just about to give birth and 1 that's going to give birth in 4 months. And that's what this project's about, the spark of life. Namaste. How are you feeling? What a beautiful baby. It was very nice to have you associated with the project even for a short time. I wanted to congratulate you. It's wonderful.
As the sculpture nears completion, locals gather to look at the fruits of their labour.
It's really exhilarating when something of this scale is complete. It's a demonstration of what a focused, harmonious community effort can achieve. I really enjoy being part of it.
The workers built a stupa or shrine on the last day, symbolising the awakened mind of the Buddha. And now that the finishing touches are complete, the village dancers and musicians gather to celebrate the rejuvenation of the Seti Gorge. Over 5 tons of rubbish has been removed from the gorge. Women have given birth, and the endless knot and stupa will bring blessings on the land and its people for many years to come.
Part of this creation is about making connections between land and people. Warm, colourful celebrations like these are profound moments that really make the effort worthwhile.
The all-seeing eyes of Buddha look out in the 4 directions, while colourful prayer flags cast their mantras into the breeze.
Seen from above, you get a sense of the place that geoglyphs had in the world of our ancestors, their power to speak, the way they crystallise the mystery of the land.
Andrew is now on his way to the Jomsom Gorge, where he'll build his next 2 sculptures. On his way, the team stops in a busy town in the Kathmandu Valley to explore the local architecture and temples.
It's been said, if you come to Nepal, if you do nothing else, it's worth travelling halfway around the world to see this square in the sacred city of Bhaktapur, one of the 3 cities of the Kathmandu Valley.
Many of the finest temples in the Kathmandu Valley were constructed by builders and artists of the Niwa culture. Their golden age of religious architecture lasted for 500 years after the Malla kings came to power in the 13th century. The all-seeing Buddha's eyes here look out over the four directions of the world. Andrew and his team fly into even more remote Jomsom, a small village on the ancient trade route between India and Tibet, to start work on another symbol, the Labyrinth, as well as the Rhythms of Life geoglyph.
I love the spiritualism here too. I love to go and sit in temples.
Now the team is on its way to meet officials at the local library to confirm aspects of building in the Jomsom Valley.
Namaste.
He's a club
Chairperson.
He's the chairperson of
We will.
welcome.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you very much. The site on the other side is beautiful and faces the mountain. The stonemasons are very important, but we need as many as we can. 100 tomorrow, 150 the next day, 200 the next day.
You know, this whole idea that he would want to do this without getting anything back, either through commercial sponsorships, or he's doing it because he has this desire to spread his philosophy, and he really believes in that this is something important to tell the world, and this is his way of doing it without worry about benefiting personally or in any way other than helping spread his message, which I think is a great philosophy of life.
As always, Andrew participates in the local traditions, this time by spinning prayer wheels. The team commences with a site visit to mark out the exact building area, but it is not appropriate.
Yeah, it goes a long way out, doesn't it? It's more or less the middle of the valley.
Wind up the tape. We're nearly in the centre of the river, so I don't think it's appropriate because the water will just wash everything away.
Yeah, I think so too.
Geoglyphs are giant metaphors, and they have to be placed in locations where their significance can be felt. A place where the land adds meaning.
We're orienting it this way because this point has to point towards the apex of Nilgiri Mountain. So this will be point number 1 here. Let's build up.
Once we've established the direction, we go directly to the last corner over there.
Opposite corner.
And if we're satisfied with that, we start checking other points.
There are 5 architects, 4 surveyors, and a small team of locals who, together with the help of a GPS system and satellite imaging, attempt to map out the exact construction area.
This is a great site. We're not going to clear or touch any vegetation. We're just going to place rocks on top of the surface. I wanted to come to the Himalayas because the Himalayas are one of the significant topographical features in the world, and the spirituality that is drawn from them by the people that live here is very special. We're welcomed by the local monks and invited to participate in a blessing of the land. During this ceremony, as I place the intention rocks and sprinkle rice, I'm reminded that I'm living my dream, creating earth art in some of the most remote places on this planet.
All of the people who are experts in building, I would like them to divide for a minute in a separate group and stand on the side. It's very important. Everybody is going back to their original position, except for those 7 who will follow us, and we will divide them into their groups, okay? Each one of them will be responsible of a group. Choose the long face,
The rocks.
and it has to be as close as possible to the rope, but not push it. This is not good.
Okay, explain. Flattest and biggest part of the rock on the ground. Okay?
Okay, guys, let's start working. Come on.
There is so much to be coordinated, even in organising lines of workers to just move enough rocks to supply the stonemasons.
The team may have found their perfect site, but in such remote locations, they always have challenges to overcome. This time, they find that they're running out of rocks and cannot complete the work.
Now there's a whole group of people over here doing nothing, they're waiting for rocks. Whole group here needs to get something to work with.
Andrew's only hope is to propose a plan to the local school, where they've been gathering rocks for a building.
Chandra, what we decided to do is pay generously for the stones as a contribution to the school, yes, to the building fund. So you're going to get more stones, and we're using the stones you have accumulated now, yes? Yeah. We thought it was a great idea. We had them immediately and the school got funds to build with.
Andrew and the school are able to help each other, so the rocks from the school get the work back into action. The geoglyph can now be finished.
This site has given me the opportunity to locate the rhythms of life in one of the most spectacular locations in the world. We're in one of the deepest gorges on Earth. We have the Kaligandaki River, which is one of the holiest rivers in Nepal, in front of the site. On one side we have the Nilgiri Mountain, on the other the Nilgiri Mountain. Both of these mountains are over 7,000 metres tall. Like life, we all have mountains to climb, so to align the rhythms of life with this mountain is very appropriate.
Today is the full moon spring festival for the Tahali women workers, and the locals invite Andrew to participate in their celebrations, which resonate with the theme of renewal expressed in the Rhythms of Life project. After the festival, Andrew returns to build his final form, the Labyrinth.
It's all circles within circles, so we want to build it from inside out. We need to figure out how to work here. This is it.
The Labyrinth dates back to 2000 BC. It's an ancient and powerful symbol used for prayer and contemplation all over the world.
What, again?
You see where they're putting the stones?
The pile of stones,
Make sure they're not putting them too close to where you want to work.
Yeah, okay.
It's got to be all taken out, all of this. And look at, I don't want any gaps in here. Look, all of this has to come out. I don't want any of these small rocks, only big rocks. Only big rocks. Doesn't do anything. Has to go in the ground, yeah, like this. Touch the ground.
The school children come to see how their rocks are being used.
Do you remember the big piles of rocks near your school? Yes? So these are all here now and over there. I'm very pleased we're creating the Labyrinth because we've never had the opportunity to create such a work. It's a winding path, a search for truth. It has lots of symbolism right throughout the world. It's been used in Hindu society and Buddhist society to aid meditation. And the people do understand this. I think they'll look after it and use it as well.
This is the best part of the day, chocolate cake and proper coffee.
It's great.
I've been dreaming about this.
I don't think what we do is work. I don't think of this as work as I think it's a joy, because you don't really experience it or understand it until you've done it. And you don't get the excitement until you've done it.
You actually get to know the people, and you're working with them. They're not working for you as a tourist, you're working for, with them as a group.
And you'll get home, you'll wonder why you're not getting up at 5:30, because you'll be awake and you'll think, I've got nothing to do. It's a real labyrinth. It'll be hard to find your way in and hard to find your way out. Don't you find it amazing when you look at this? It's just, look what we've created. Who else builds a maze in the middle of the Nepalese desert?
My name's Laurie Emrine. I'm an art historian. I teach art history. It is an actual sculpture, but it's about the idea of memory and rhythms of life. It deals with cycles of life and creation. I'm thinking about the ancient Maya and how they keep things alive through memory and through ancestors and through their works. It has a goal of getting these things sort of connected in an conceptual way across the world. So the artist makes it, and then whatever happens afterwards is up to the viewers.
They are drawings on the earth, and that's virtually what I'm doing. I'm making drawings on the earth. Very simple, very clean structures without disturbing the environment, basically just rearranging the rocks that are there. What I write and draw about is about history and about heritage and about memory, because for me, memory is very, very important. If we don't have memory, we don't have anything. We've got to remember what went before, and we've got to learn from it.
Locals gather for a final celebration of their achievements.
I always feel the privilege I have in being able to engage with different cultures and to celebrate with them. And I'm always touched by the universal quality of the human spirit, the fact that this beautiful earth is home to all of us. I want to say thank you to all the workers. You're the most important people here. You're very lovely people to work with. And you live in one of the most beautiful places on earth. This is the only white rock in this wall, and I want you to put the last rock on this big sculpture. Give her a clap. There's a strong spiritual element to my work. The rhythm of the days, the turn of the seasons. Life is a constant cycle to me, reflected in all cultures. My work is about the cycle of life, the constant rhythm and the pulse that is found in all things. These optimistic symbols of life are an expression of human striving. The power of enormous rock structures hasn't diminished. They are still a focus for the human spirit, connecting us with the land. I love this feeling of lifting off into the sky and into the buffeting winds to see the work, to see human potential, how it served us in the past and how it will take us into the future.